for some reason, that beginning is cutting off for me. So I'm just going to have to upload it again, redo it, and bring it back to you. Yes, because I truly believe you have been given the power of the word and thought to create the life that you desire. So, hello, good morning. It is tax day. It is October the 17th, 2016, and it is a fabulous, wonderful day here in Dallas. Well, any day that you wake up and you are able to move around and speak and talk and interact with many people, that is a wonderful day. And here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area of Texas, it is cloudy. And, I look outside and I'm a gardener. I think I've mentioned that before, as I'm a gardener, and this is fall gardening season, and I was able to nurse some tomato plants all the way through the summer. They still are looking kind of sad, but they are starting to produce lots of tomatoes. Now, the only thing I find about my harvest is that they harvest like one or two or three, especially if I'm doing the cherry tomatoes. It's like, okay, they've ripened, okay, let's rinse them off and pop them in your mouth. It is a wonderful thing. If you've never gardened before and you're used to getting the produce from your supermarket, or maybe you even go to a farmer's market, let me tell you, there is a difference in the flavor. Now, it does take some work in order to get a garden to produce. This year I did a lot of experiments with different ways to grow tomatoes and peppers, and I've got collard greens and kale, and let's see what else. Oh, I decided to grow ginger, which is something different. You never think about it. You see it in the store. For those of you that get fresh ginger at your store, you never think about the fact that this is a root and that you can pop it in the ground and it will start to grow. And if you decide to do that, I'll tell you to get a long pot, because it kind of grows in a long way. But you can do a round pot too. And if you're in the north, or like here, anywhere that it will get cold, I say put it in a pot so that you can bring it in and protect it. But anyway, gardening, and so I'm looking outside at the cloud and say, okay, let's get some rain going here for us. Well, I want to welcome you to the show. I am always just kind of overjoyed to be able to come to you in this way and share some, I think, good information for you to put in to your life that will help you move your life further. So today's title is the key to having effective meditative prayer that gives results. Now, you go, well, prayer, I expect to get results. Well, so many times people will say, I've been asking and nothing's coming into my life. I don't know if God is hearing me. I don't know if the Creator is giving me, or one young lady was telling me the struggles she was having and in what was going on in her life, and she was finding it so very difficult. And as I talked with her about that difficulty, and one of the things that I asked her was, what's the good that you're getting out of this difficult situation? And I suggest that you ask yourself that also. Is this a lesson for me to learn? Is this a path that I need to go through? Or the last thing is, what am I asking for? And how am I asking for this help that I'm desiring? Or this state of being that I am desiring? What is it? How am I asking for it? Am I doing what is necessary in order to either get an answer to a question that I may be asking, having something come into my life that I desire, or asking for an outcome that I want in my life? How am I asking? So we're going to take a look at that today. But as always, I start us out by just going within, just taking a few moments and going within, just relaxing and taking a deep breath. And if you're driving or operating machinery, I admonish you to stop. If you're driving, pull over, or just wait till you're in a position that you can actually close your eyes and take a deep breath and relax. You're going to breathe in and out. Breathe in again and out. And when you take deep breaths like this, you are actually slowing down your body, taking in more oxygen, releasing more carbon dioxide and other gases. Deep breaths, because most of us breathe very shallowly. Just a shallow breather. I know I am most of the time, unless I actively pay attention to my breathing. And while you're breathing in and out, I want you to take a feel of where tension may be in your body and relax it. Is it in your neck or your shoulders, your chest, your back, your hips, your lower back maybe, your forehead, your cheeks, your chin, your jaw? Are you tensing your jaw? Relax it. Just feel and get in touch with your entire body and feel where that tension may be, and just relax. If you're not sure about how to relax it, just deliberately tense it up. Like put your hands in a fist and then relax it. And that's what I mean, is take that muscle and tighten it up as much as you can and then let it go. When you do this, you are training your body to be able to relax on command. You are training your body to know what that tension feels like, so that you can come in and just have it relax. When you're in a difficult situation, when you are in a situation where you may have to perform or do something in front of your boss, or you're trying to get a point across to a loved one, those times when you feel tense, you're getting ready to go to the doctor or to the gym and work out, wherever it is, and you will feel some tension in your body. Just take a deep breath in and out. Another deep breath in and out. And just relax. Because when you relax, you let go of negative thoughts and words because you're concentrating on relaxing. You are also de-stressing your body, which is good for you. When you go into this relaxed state, you go into a mental state called alpha. In this state, you are open to receive information that will give you the answer that you may need at that very moment or later. Or you're given an idea that will help you move forward. All in this short state of meditation. Now, as you are relaxing and you're feeling wonderful, take another deep breath. Now I'm going to lift you up. I know you may not want to, but lift you up, out right now, because we're going to get serious about some of the things I'm going to talk about today. So I'm going to count from 1 to 5. At the count of 5, you will be wide awake, feeling rested, still relaxed as though you had just had a power nap. 1, 2, coming out slowly now. 3, 4, 5. You're wide awake. You're feeling fine. You are feeling so relaxed and ready for your very special day. How about that? Yeah. So, what is this key to having effective meditative prayer that gives results? Well, it's just one very special thing. So, when you are doing effective meditative prayer, and many people ask me, why do you say meditative prayer? Because just like I've had you relax just now and just kind of flow into it and breathe deeply, what it does is it takes you into a mental state. Your mind has multiple levels that are going on all the time. But we want you to be in a predominant state of the alpha wave in your brain. So we've got the beta brain where I am right now having this conversation, because when you are speaking, you have to have beta, because that is what helps you speak and talk. And this is, for those of you that know, it is, talking and using the left side of your brain. When you're in meditative prayer, you're using mostly your right side of your brain. But when you're in deep, effective meditative prayer, you're using both sides of your brain. And in beta, your brain has electrical waves. Basically, that's what I'm just describing, the waves within your brain. And beta is one that moves very quickly, very fast. It's an upbeat tempo, really. And then alpha, you go down a little bit slower. I think I talked about it as being like West Coast swing when you're moving and your brain is slowed down a little bit. And then going a little slower, kind of like maybe a waltz. It's the theta brainwave. And basically, when you really get deep into your meditative prayer, you are in this state of theta. Now, how do I explain theta to you? Well, normally, when you are untrained, you go into theta maybe a couple times a day, but most of the time it is associated with dreaming, being asleep and dreaming. But what I want you to do, just like you did a little earlier with me, is be relaxed and at least be in alpha. Alpha is suggestion. Alpha is where you'll hear the answer to your question. Alpha is I don't want to call it magical area of being, but it is the place you are when you're learning. It's the place you are when you're zoned out watching television, or you're so involved in reading or studying that somebody calls you 3 or 4 times and then they go and they say, well, where have you been? Right? I've been calling you. Well, you were in this deep concentrative state. And that's where you want to be in effective prayer. So in effective meditative prayer, you don't ask, you don't beg, you don't command, you don't assert. And a lot of you are going, what? But I gotta ask. I mean, I gotta say what I want. I gotta really just get down there and just ask, really, get really into deep, and just ask, oh, please, guys, this gotta be, no. Oh, no. No. I listen to many of my clients and the things that they tell me they've done in the past. I've talked to potential clients and we've had a discussion about the things that they desire and the things that they've been doing. Because you do have to do. You can ask, but things will come your way and there's some inspired actions that come to you and you do them. But you can't do them if you don't know what they are and you're not hearing the answer. So, in effective meditative prayer, you don't ask, you don't beg, you don't command, you don't assert. You do one particular thing. You ready? I want you to get extremely clear. I mean, totally, absolutely, extremely clear about what you really want. Number one. I mean, very clear. Not that I just want a job. No. Or I just want a car. I just want transportation. Nah. All right. I want, and be realistic about what you desire, especially if your belief level is not quite high enough yet. So if there's a particular type of car that you like, I want an XJ97 turbo charged engine of a particular model and maybe even a particular year. I want it to be fire engine red. I want flaps on the back or whatever it is, and I'm canceling that order because that's not what I want. All right. So, and you heard me say I cancel that order because the words that come out of your mouth is just like placing an order in your life. You have power in your words. The creator of this universe gave us amazing power in our words. So be careful what you say. It might just show up. So get clear about what you truly want. And then I want you to give thanks. Now, in my basic statement, I really do say I command, even though you don't have to. Right? In my prime directive statement, when I say I command, I know how. I get my point across to those who are hearing me. And it is so. You see, I ask for ways of speaking to you, and when I give talks and I'm in seminars, leading seminars, that's one of my commands, that I am crystal clear and that I find multiple ways in order to explain something so that everyone in the audience, everyone that is hearing me in one way or another, understands what I'm trying to convey and what I'm trying to teach. So let's get back to getting clear about what you truly want. I want you to speak of it with a feeling. I want you to feel it as though it's already there. So if you're asking for healing, if you're asking for good health, for yourself or for someone else, I want you to have the feeling that if it's for you, that you are well, that you are healthy, that if you're in pain, the pain is diminishing each and every day. I'll tell you about a woman who had a tumor, a breast tumor. And she was talking with her doctor, and she didn't want to do some of the things that he suggested, and he said, we have to do something. She said, I'm going to try something, and then and I'll come back in 2 weeks, 3 weeks. And he said, okay, but I'm going to tell you that if there's no change. And she says, well, what do you need? And he said, I need to see a change. I need to see it shrinking. I need to see it getting smaller. And then she went back and she began to concentrate on this tumor being gone, just gone, right? But nothing was happening. The tumor was not changing in size. And she was talking to a woman by the name of Laura Silva. And when I teach the Silva Ultramind DSP class, I talk about this particular thing. And Laura asked her, well, what are you doing? And she said she's seeing it gone. She said, do you believe that it can be gone? And she says, well, yeah, I'm fairly certain. And Laura asked her, well, what did the doctor say? He needs to see some change. He said, okay. Then just visualize and begin to feel that that particular tumor is smaller. Not gone, just smaller. That's all he asked you for, is smaller. Now, but there's another piece in there, right? And it's going to come from, I'm going to use a scripture. And the scripture is Mark 11:24. Therefore I tell you, whatever you ask for in prayer, believe that you have received it and it will be yours. Believe that you have received it and it will be yours. Part of her problem was that she was not believing totally in absolute terms that tumor could be gone. But every day as she went into meditation, and she went 3 times a day minimum, and she saw the tumor shrinking, just getting a little smaller. Not much, but enough for it to be measured. And she went into the doctor for her next appointment, and the doctor measured, and that tumor was a little smaller. Now, and each time she continued until it was gone. She ate healthy. She changed her diet and she did a number of things, but the meditation was one of them that she has done. Now, I'm not telling you that you can get such drastic results because I cannot tell you what your state of mind is. I cannot tell you what your body is doing. I cannot tell you. I can just give you examples of people who were speaking and knowing exactly what they wanted and giving thanks. And she had the feeling that the tumor was smaller, not gone, just a little bit smaller. And she accepted it as fact that it was smaller, that her feeling was fulfilled. And then she was extremely grateful and thankful and said thank you. And if the words thank you don't go for you, isn't it wonderful? Oh, and mine at the end of the command, you heard me say, and it is so. And it is so is the same as saying amen. But you get into this state of knowing and feeling that it is real and that your wish has been fulfilled. You know, and you are grateful. You know how you would feel when it was done. So knowing what you truly want, all right, so the key is knowing what you truly want. Describe it in detail. Get into the feeling of it happened. As it happened, past tense, that it has occurred. Be so into the feeling that it has occurred that you may open your eyes and go, oh, wow, I could have sworn it was done. I've had dreams like that. I've had a deep, deep dream and I woke up and went, oops, that was a dream. That wasn't real. That's how deep you want it to get, that feeling that it is real. You want to surrender to that state. You want to be obsessed by that state. You want to feel that it is real. All right. Now, the term obsessed may mean, like you're really just tense, but no, that is not what I want you to feel in that obsession. The obsession is the thought that it's done. I know it's done. I'm not walking around believing it's not done. It just has to show up in my life. I know that it is coming into my life if it's not there. She knew that her tumor was getting smaller and smaller. So I want to change that word from obsession to the feeling of possession, that it is already yours. Because I'm thinking about this term obsession and that it really is kind of a negative term. So let's cancel that obsession term and let's make it possession, that you possess that which you desire. So that effective meditative prayer requires faith and belief. So get clear on what you want. Give thanks. Have the feeling that's already occurred. But the faith or belief that it is done is actually the number one key. You see, the reason a lot of people's prayer don't seem to be answered is because they lack that condition. Right? As I said in Mark 11:24, and Jesus said, believe that you have received it and it will be yours. Mark 9th chapter 23rd verse, all things are possible to him who believes. And you say, but I believe, I've been believing, it's not showing up. Or other things are showing up. I was working with one young lady who kept saying, nothing's showing up, right? And I helped her reframe her words, reframe her thoughts, reframe how she was speaking about what was going on in her life. And looking at it from a different perspective, of a perspective of either a lesson, a roadblock, saying you're not supposed to go in that direction, or not asking for what you really desire. So what I'm going to share with you is that regardless of your situation, believe that you've received it. Whatever it is that you desire, visualize in a relaxed state. Deep breaths in and out. Not in a state of needing and I have to have it. I just can't do without it. You know, if you're in a situation where you are looking for work, it's the desire of what kind of work you want. Where is it that you care to work? What is your ideal job based on your skills and your abilities? What is your ideal job? Do you want a job where you're an apprentice and that you're learning and you're moving forward? Think about that. Exactly what you want. What kind of situation do you want to be in that job? Do you want to be working outside? Do you want to travel? Do you want an office? Do you see yourself in a cubicle in an office doing whatever? Visualize yourself in that position doing what you really love to do, and keep that in mind and that feeling as though you already own it, that it already belongs to you. Well, my young lady that I am working with, had gotten a job, and then she went to that job, and within a week that job was gone, right? And that was devastating because she felt that she was moving forward. And she just didn't understand. Well, what it was is, number one, she needed to get away from the position she was already in. Number two, it was that idea of, I think I'm moving forward, but the job went away. It gave her an opportunity to explore some areas in her life that she hadn't explored before. It gave her an opportunity to get some information about some things she's been wanting to do, but she didn't have time to do. It gave her the opportunity to get some additional training, a short amount of time, wasn't long. And now she's in the perfect job for her. Because there was this little interim, this little, what we look at as a glitch, a hard time, a thing, but it was actually a period of learning and getting very clear on what she wanted in her life. And now she's in that job. And that was all within 30 days that happened. Do your part. And the creator of this universe has put laws in place that will help us get things done. All things are possible to him who believes. And listen. Take the time to relax and listen for your answers, just like she listened with a little help. She listened and took advantage of the opportunities that she was given in that short amount of time. So the key to having effective meditative prayer that gives results, again, is know exactly what you want. Define it all the way down to the very basic details. Be very clear and give thanks for it. Feel that you already possess it, that it's already yours. There's no doubt that it's going to be yours. There is absolutely positively no doubt. And it may not show up exactly when you think it should show up. We cannot dictate exactly when things show. If something else shows up, then look and see what you're really asking for. Or if doubt has creeped in. If, that's not going to happen. I tell the story about the woman who said, the scripture says if I think that tell the mountain to go into the sea is going to get, okay, mountain up there, I want you to go fall down. I want you to go and just get flat. Next morning she came out and looked up and the mountain's still sitting up there. And she said, I told you. I knew you weren't going to go flat. All right, so if you are saying, this is what I want, but I don't know if it can happen. I'm kind of scared. I really want to do this, but I'm afraid. Well, guess what? You're afraid. And you get some inspired action of things that you need to do in order to make that happen, and then you don't have it happen, then guess what? Yep, it's not going to show up. I tell you, it is. So, to get results, you've got to believe that you will receive. Not will receive, that it is received. And you say, well, how can I believe that I've already got it? Well, just think that it has been created in the invisible world, in the spirit world. And all that has to happen is that spirit has to figure out a way to bring it into physical existence for you. But I'm going to tell you, if you start saying, well, I don't think it's going to happen, well, you just pushed it away that much further. Okay, you don't believe it's going to happen? Okay. Then it's not going to happen. I want it to happen. Yes, it's going to happen. Okay, okay, let's get this train moving again because she says she believes it's going to happen again. Let's get it going. So anyway, I want you to think about that and know that if you believe that you have received, it can be yours. But it takes unshakable faith that it will be yours. Thank you for listening today. Please share the link to this show with your friends and family so that they can learn how to be the best that they can be. Visit my website at commandingyourlife.com and follow me on Facebook. Have any suggestions for the show? Just contact me by emailing Beverly at commandingyourlife.com. Be sure to join me on the next